Aloha, one and all, and welcome to this edition of Five Questions. Five Questions with folks in the news that appears on KHVHradio.com, also on HawaiiReporter.com, and here on the Rick Amato program. Today it's a delight to ask five questions of Delorese Gregoire, who is the founding director of Winners Camp Foundation. And Delorese, aloha and good morning to you.
Aloha to you, Rick. E como mai.
Thank you so very much. You know, we do have five questions for you, Delorese, but maybe it would be helpful if you could give us a very brief description of Winners Camp Foundation, please.
Well, Winners Camp is for teenagers, and it's a leadership training, and it gives them tools to make positive choices and to go forward in life with tools for success.
And it's a unique organization in as much as that the focus really is on the teen years. Is that correct?
Yes, the transition from childhood to adult, mostly done in conflict without resolution, and we give them tools to go through it with joy and celebration, especially with their parents.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that very much, Delorese. And for our friends dialed in, we do have our five questions. We'll start with question number one. Delorese, simply put, what is the biggest thing that teens are faced with today?
Unequivocally, peer pressure. No matter how much they have all the love and support from their parents and their siblings and their extended families, peer pressure just seems to take them down some roads that we don't want to go.
Peer pressure is manifested how, Delorese?
Being persuaded to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do, getting involved in things that aren't healthy for them or may end up being in their demise. Serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like doing drugs or doing things that are risky, especially for boys. 15-year-old boys take huge risk all the time without thinking of the consequences. And it's because of peer pressure. They're teased into it or forced into it because they want to be cool.
As parents are listening, Delorese, are probably relating immediately to what you're talking about. How do parents empower themselves to help their children navigate through this peer pressure?
First of all, be really good role models. If you don't want your kids to smoke, don't smoke. If you don't want them to drink, don't drink. And especially give them a sense of their own well-being, that, be comfortable in your own skin. Let them know that you adore them, that you really want them to be safe, and that you're not just forcing them to be safe because you're scared of everything that's out there in the world, but to just let them know that everything you're doing is to provide them with a future life.
I put everything in the context of our own two children. So question number two, the way I see it is via transitions. Our children have transitioned out of infancy to toddler to younger children. But what about that transition, that passage from childhood to adult? What can we as adults do to help them through this passage?
Well, first and foremost, this is where we need to spend more time with them than ever. We saved them from their, getting into trouble or getting all these things happen when they were toddlers and everything, and we were able to be with them and we stuck by them, and yet we get really busy during this time of that age bracket, and then they kind of go their own way and they live autonomous lives, but just stick with them.
I think it's that unwavering advocacy and knowledge of, basically unqualified love. I mean, that to me sounds like that's the key component, yeah?
Unconditional love. No matter what they do, you're going to tell them that you're going to love them anyway, you're going to support them through it, and you'll be by their side.
I have to say that one of the questions that we were talking about was actually the transition that I had from childhood to adult. It's very easy to answer who was responsible for that for me, and it was my mother, who as a single mom for part of our lives was, working hard to keep our family together with my sister and myself. And you mentioned before about living by example, and the thing that I always recall from my mom was that she was ultimately fair. She was compassionate, and that she was always supportive of any endeavor that I had, or when I messed up, and believe me, I did.
But that's the key, Rick, is that she stuck by you no matter what. And even though she was a single mom and a working mom, you knew that she was always there for you. You had it in your heart, your soul, the fabric of your being.
That is very true. Absolutely so. And I am prayerful that we, Bernadette and I as parents, are going to be able to do the same for Zach and Zoe. So that's always top of mind. Let's go to the next question, though, Delorese, if you don't mind. When there are not the support structures that many of us have had, where would you direct other families to go if they're having challenges themselves?
Well, I hope I don't get put off the air, but go to your church, go to your synagogue, go to your temples. Make sure that you have a community of people that are behind you and supporting you as you're supporting your kids. You can't go it alone. And if the kids themselves don't have that support and they don't even have anybody directing them, somebody in the community, somebody at the school, somebody at wherever they're going must identify that they need help. I see us not involving ourselves because we don't want to step in on someone else's life, or we need to. We absolutely, as adults, need to be a community of people bringing up our kids.
You know, it's we're already at question number 5, and it's a very important part of our conversation with Delorese Gregoire, who is the founding director of Winners Camp Foundation. In your mind, Delorese, what is the single most important thing you can reassure your teen about?
Let them know you love them. It's so important, and especially for girls. If you're a dad and you've got a daughter, you've got to let her know that she's your princess and that you admire her, you think she's wonderful, and that you're going to be by her side all the time, because otherwise girls especially are always looking for love in the wrong places. And the first time a guy says, "Oh, I think you're beautiful," and they fall apart, if you've already said it to her every day and you've told her how smart she is and how strong, and for your son how strong and how courageous and all of those wonderful things, they can't hear it enough. Let them know how much you admire them, how much you respect them, and how much you want them to have a good life and that you're there for them.
That's a fantastic reminder that our role as parents is not only to raise our children with standards, values, etc., but to really communicate to them just how essential they are to our lives. And it's a great chat today, Delorese. Is there, by any chance, is there an event that is coming up soon that people can participate in?
Yes, thank you for asking. It's the Jam in July, and it's July 24th to the 30th, and it's a Hawaii Leadership Academy up at Winners Camp, which is held up at Kamehame Ridge in Hawaii Kai, the ridge between Hawaii Kai and Waimanalo.
And what will folks experience when they attend?
They'll get tools that will see them through the rest of their lives, and they'll become people who are respectful, resourceful, resilient, show restraint, and responsible.
And what ages are we? Are you asking folks to attend? At what age?
The teen years.
Teen years. Perfect.
All those turbulent teens. When anybody ever coined the phrase "the turbo twos," they never had a teenager.
Well, I am girding myself for when our kids approach teenage.
I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. You'll be one of the first calls we make, Delorese, believe me.
Okay.
If folks would like to contact you, what's the best way to do so?
Go to our website, winnerscamp.com, WINNERSCAMP.com, or call me personally. I answer the phone, 306-8008.
It's been a delight to share 5 questions with Delorese Gregoire, founding director of the Winners Camp Foundation. And as you heard, telephone number 306-8008, or go on the web at winnerscamp.com. Delorese Gregoire, thanks so very much for joining us today.
Hui hao, malama pono.
And aloha to you. Take care. Bye now.